guys, I was actually originally going to wear my pink suit, but my zipper broke, and then I tried to safety pin it. It didn't work out well, so I had to wear this today. But originally I was matching with my presentation slides. So anyway, let's just jump in. The image of lawyers is not just a matter of professional or personal pride. It affects the American public's faith in our justice system, and ultimately, their belief in our democracy. So, in our legal system, we have agents. Lawyers are agents in our legal system. And what they do is they act as advocates and advisors for people in our society. They work to hold individuals, corporations, organizations, and even governments accountable for their actions. This is a crucial part of our justice system. Lawyers act as a liaison between you and the law. Every person in this room has rights and interests that are granted under the law and safeguarded by our legal system. We depend on lawyers to represent us in those affairs. Now, as a corporate attorney for the past 4 years, I've experienced the importance of this relationship firsthand. As a practicing attorney, it's my job to understand how the law applies to my client's specific circumstance and have the ability to communicate that information in lay terms. So basically, I need to make sure that my client is understanding the information. And of course, this relationship requires a certain degree of trust between myself and my client. Now, unfortunately, the public's negative perception of lawyers, fueled by the media's depiction of negative lawyer stereotypes, kind of hinders this relationship because clients will come in with kind of a negative idea of lawyers. So I will be discussing this in more depth using 4 main points. The first main point is the negative perception of the public, the negative perception the public has of lawyers. Second, the role of media in shaping the public's perception. Third, the effect of the public's perception on American democracy. And fourth, how the media itself can be used as a tool to improve this perception. So I'm going to talk first about the first point, which is how the public perceives lawyers. So in a 2001 study conducted by the American Bar Association, respondents were asked to react to a series of statements about lawyers. So 74% of respondents agreed that lawyers are more interested in winning than in seeing justice served. 69% agreed with the statement that lawyers are more interested in making money than in serving their clients. 57% agreed with the statement that most lawyers are more concerned with their own self-promotion than their clients' best interests. And 51% agreed that we would be better off with fewer lawyers. These results indicate that the American public perceives lawyers to be greedy, dishonest, and largely self-serving, meaning that they typically put their own interests before their clients' interests. So, there was a more recent survey conducted in 2013 by the Pew Research Center, and unfortunately, the survey yielded similar results. So basically what researchers did was they surveyed public perception of 10 different occupational groups. And unfortunately, lawyers ranked last. So that means that 34% of respondents thought that lawyers contributed almost nothing to society's well-being. In contrast, the military ranked first. Now, the media fuels these beliefs by presenting negative lawyer stereotypes. Take Lionel Hutz, for example, a character on The Simpsons, which is the longest running animated comedy show on television. So Lionel Hutz is often depicted as an ambulance chaser who is unethical and greedy. In one episode in particular called Selma's Choice, Hutz attempts to commit forgery by editing somebody's will and casually admits that he does this on a regular basis. So by saying that fictional lawyers, have been successful in the practice of committing forgery, this kind of perpetuates the idea that real life lawyers routinely use the law or manipulate the law or even break it for their own personal advantage. And another prime example is Saul Goodman, which probably a lot of you guys recognize from Breaking Bad. He's another lawyer that's often depicted as sleazy, manipulative, self-centered, and so forth. In fact, one of my favorite quotes from him is, "You don't want a criminal lawyer. You want a criminal lawyer." So in the show, he's often willing to bend or even break the law to advance his clients' interests. For example, when he helped Walter White with the money laundering scheme. So both Hutz and Goodman have a lot of things in common. They're both characters in award-winning television shows that are being viewed by millions of Americans. So they're watching this negative lawyer stereotype on their television screens, and based off of that, they're kind of building this idea of what a real-life lawyer is. So that's not good. Now, by perpetuating the stereotype that lawyers are unethical, what the media is doing is they're undermining the legal profession, and they're weakening the American public's faith in the fairness and efficacy of our legal system, which ultimately threatens our democracy. Of course, a nation cannot be a democracy without the rule of law. And in order for society to accept the rule of law, they need to trust that the legal system and its agents are working to safeguard their rights and interests. And when the public believes that lawyers aren't doing this, well, then we encounter some problems and people won't want to adhere to the rule of law, which is also not good. Now, however, at the same time, media can also be used as a tool to improve the public's perception of the law. And my favorite example, of course, is Elle Woods. What can I say? Now, so in Elle Woods, in the movie Legally Blonde, there's one specific interest in where Elle Woods really embodies what an ideal lawyer should be. So she's part of a legal team representing a client called Brooke Taylor, who's been accused of her husband's murder. Now, Brooke Taylor doesn't really trust the head of the legal team, but she trusts Elle Woods because Elle Woods gave her the benefit of the doubt and, despite the evidence, didn't accuse Brooke Taylor of being a murderer outright. So Elle Woods took the initiative to go down to where Brooke Taylor was being held in prison and try to get her to confess who her alibi was. So this woman had an airtight alibi that, if she revealed, would clear her of all murder charges. And this particular woman, Brooke Taylor, was a fitness person, so she kind of sold fitness to young girls, like fitness routine videos and all that. And she confesses to Elle Woods that her alibi was that she was getting liposuction at the time of her husband's murder. So of course, she can't just reveal this and tarnish her reputation, so she asks Elle Woods to keep it a secret. And Elle Woods does just that. She keeps it a secret and doesn't tell the head of the legal team who the alibi is. And Elle Woods could have said who the alibi is and, gotten advanced and promoted and whatnot, but she didn't. And I know I've used her personally as the standard as to what an ideal lawyer should be, many a times. So kind of just to recap what we've talked about, the majority of the American public does have a negative perception of lawyers and, perceive them to be, or associate adjectives with them that are like greedy, self-centered, that sort of thing. And this is ultimately a threat to our legal system and democracy, but its effects can be mitigated by using the very same media to kind of portray more positive role models like Elle Woods. And by using lawyers like her to associate real life lawyers with, we're kind of reducing the negative stigma that's associated with lawyers. So, I have a very memorable clincher, and I'm going to remember it right now. Yes, okay. So hopefully, I remembered, the next time you think of a lawyer, you will think of somebody like Elle Woods. Because lawyers like Elle Woods are in the majority, not the minority. Thank you.